Welcome back to Danny's Dehydration Station. And over the holidays, you probably cooked up more of things than you thought you would need just to be on the safe side to, make your kitchen more efficient for when somebody pops in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And, if you're like me, you'll cook up a bunch of bacon and then whatever is left over, you put it in the fridge. And, knowing fully well that somewhere along the way, you're going to make some bacon and eggs or maybe a pizza or who knows what you're going to do with your bacon. But if you're like me, where maybe things don't go as planned, believe it or not, sometimes there is a thing called leftover bacon. I know that just sounds insane. I never thought I would be saying that either, if you really want to know. But here we are. This is actually most of the leftover bacon. I have left some of it in the fridge because it's still really good. It's just, I know we're not going to get through it all. It's a rare treat for me. And yeah, it's a sort of a seasoning in some dishes. So I didn't need as much as I thought I would. So believe it or not, we're going to put it on the dehydrator. Yeah. So I'm moving that aside in just a sec because I had to go and unplug the dehydrator so I can move it closer to you. And you'll see, I'm just going to back up a bit. Here we go. No, other direction. There we go. Hopefully that's better. Move the camera a bit. You're sort of, you are seeing that there is a blue paper towel that I have put down. It's a shop rag. I like these best because they're very heat resilient. I'm not going to be going up much higher than 160 because you can't. But how I made that was you just, fold it up like so, and then you cut out the tip and then sort of round off the end. And the only reason I made this is just to be a catcher in case there is some extra grease that comes off. I don't want it to build up and then, overflow into these cracks. That would be just a mess I don't even want to think about. So that's just there as a safety thing. You can do it or not do it because you're going to come in and you're going to check on this from time to time anyway. But what I did was I took the bacon, I cut all the pieces in half, and so now I'm just going to lay them out here as best I can all over the rack with the idea that you don't want it crispy cooked when you cook it. You want some bendy in it, but not much. And the reason being, again, the higher fat, the longer it takes, and the more mess you're gonna make if you have bacon grease all over the place. So here's what we're doing. We're just gonna lay this out, and I may actually need a second rack, and that's okay. Not a big deal. And in fact, I know I'm going to need a second rack, so that's good. And the bigger pieces like this, if you have two pieces stuck together, you're doing yourself a favor if you actually separate them. That's helpful because, again, it comes down to that airflow thing. So here I'm feeling really good that we've got airflow. The pieces aren't touching. So I'm grabbing a second rack here. We're going to put that down on top of that. And we're going to just sort of lay out the last of the bacon here for you. Okay, so I'm going to turn this on. We're going to turn it on to 160 degrees. You don't need to watch me do that. You know how that looks. Every hour, you want to come in and check it. I'm going to do this with you. You're going to see me do this as well. We're going to check on it. The little tiny pieces, you may as well leave those aside because they're just going to fall through. Because it is going to grease up in the heat, so you want to damp it down. So again, we know the old golden rule. You always need 4 racks minimum, at least with this particular model. So there we go. We got the 4 racks. We got the lid on the top. And I'm just going to stall for a sec so that I can take you into my hands here with my phone. And I just want to show you, we're going to set that all the way to the top because most of them only go to that. And I see we have cats here that have been visiting. I'll have to wipe that up before I start everything up. Okay, so that's what you're going to do, and we'll check back in a little bit. All right, take care. It's the next day, and during the evening before I packed it in, I would come in and I would dab at the lower pockets with, a good absorbable. I use these the blue shop rags, and I know that looks really weird in the kitchen, But the reason I picked that is because it is the choice of mechanics. And the reason they pick it is because they don't want lint on all of the parts that they're reassembling. That's very important. So as you can see from the grease on it, it's been picking it up nicely. And just, you know, from time to time, that's what I would do. And the machine's been off for a little bit. You can see there's, I'm going to try and show you, maybe not. It's all pretty crispy here. This is exactly what I wanted. It's got the snap value. Exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm quite happy with this. You know, there's the second rack. Not quite as much on the second, and not because I've been sampling. Well, I did last night. That wouldn't be entirely true, I guess. But again, you know, it's a wonderful way to make your leftover bacon last longer. Now, you can use this to, you know, put in your salads, or, you know, I'm going to let this cool now. It's just come off the machine. And as I was saying, you could put it in salads, you know, pack it up, you know, use them with those dehydrated eggs to make yourself an omelet maybe down the road, or if you're backpacking, it's a wonderful thing to take with you. It's going to be good for a while. You really want to pay attention to the machine. Remember, I put down that piece of shop towel that I wanted to. Again, it caught quite a bit of grease, which is nice. It's very absorbable. So I'm just going to move that over there. Put it on top of the bacon, actually. Here's a few crumbs we can even save doing it. But yeah, the bacon, you want to make sure that is well cooked before you put it on the machine. And here is why. If you get a buildup of grease, I'm not understanding how some of these people say they're doing it with raw bacon. I'm not getting that. Maybe I need to do more research. I'm worried more about the health factors, risks involved with that. But yeah, if you are using some very fatty bacon, you may want to check this shelf every once in a while. Come in and give it a good swipe. That's actually the only time I have, because that piece of towel that I created picked up the grease for me, so I felt very safe in that. So that's all there is to preserving your leftover bacon. I know that still is an oxymoronic thing to say. Totally agree with you. But that's how I'm doing it, and hopefully this is helpful for you. All right, take care, everyone. And if you're a backpacker, enjoy those trails. Bye for now. So while I was finishing off another project, I had taken all those bacon bits and stuff that I had shown you earlier, and I just crammed them into this jar for the time being. Now what I want to do is I want to set them out on a nice clean mat. Again, this time it's on a matte mat, not the one that I just finished using for the Moobone bits, with lacerated with little holes and whatnot. These are wonderful, but bacon bits, as you know, I need to wash this still, I just used it. Bacon bits, as you know, they crumble up into nice little pieces, and that's all right. So we're just going to throw this down on this mat, spread it out a little bit more. It's looking great. I just don't want to take any chances of any of this going rancid, because as you know, bacon is not cheap. So the fact that I even have leftover bacon still blows my mind. But here we are, we're doing this. Okay, so again, there's 3 racks on the machine. This is my 4th one. I'm going to plop that up on the very top here. Here we go. You can see that from here. I'm going to move you a little bit closer. And we're going to turn this around a little bit. And I believe I have this plugged in. We're going to turn it on. Yes, we are. Okay, we will be back to finish crumbling that up. I'm going to go rewash this jar so that any little bits of wet grease in there are removed. And that's the whole name of the game, is to get rid of the moisture. So when we come back, we're going to crumble all that up and put it into the jar. All right, take a nice coffee break. See you in a bit. A few more hours has gone by, as I said I would, with the leftover bacon. There it is. It looks beautiful to me. I'm feeling really happy with that. So I just turned the machine off, and I want to give it a good 10 minutes at least before I do much else. So again, Danny and her shop towels. I just want to lay this all out here on here to pick up any last little bit of grease that's possible there. I also don't want to lose any of those nice little Niblets? Sure, let's go with niblets. Okay, and I still need the rack for, I'm working on another project. I'm working on some mushrooms as well. That's just another thing. It's in another video. You can check that out. But anyway, I need the 4 shelves, so that one can go back on the top with the lid for now. And as that just sort of sits there, I'm not going to turn the machine on. It's going to make too much noise. I'm already doing really good at that, I can tell. Okay, so here's all the bacon. It's actually quite a bit. I just want to lay this out here, let it cool off, let it, the last little bit. You can already see there's, grease stains on the shop towel. This is good. We want to pull the last of it off that we do before we package it. This is kind of why I threw it back up there, even though it had been there all night, overnight. It's bacon. It's very greasy. It's going to take a while to get enough moisture out of it that you can store it for a while. And that's the name of the game. If you only want to store it for a few weeks, that's great. Cook it, throw it in the freezer. I'm sure it'll be good for up to 2 months, but I'm kind of looking for a little longer, that if I wanted to take it out with me, it would be safe for days. And this will be. So I'm going to let that just cool off for, well, do I need to? Yes, we're going to. We're going to let that cool off a little bit more, and then we'll come back for the last bit, and that won't be long. So I wish I could just kind of have that whirling clock thing. I'll get on that, and that way is far more entertaining than me just hitting the pause and running away and coming back when everything's cooled off. But that's what we're going to do. Be back soon. So I've been playing, and if you look closely at the shop towel, you know it's a very thick towel. And I have actually been working at this bacon stuff. I've been playing with it while you've been having a bit of a pause. Not by choice, but anyway, this is where we're at. So now I'm ready to put it into the jar. I have to find a packet of desiccant. I know it's around somewhere. I can't find it for the time being. So to be on the safe side, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the jar in the freezer. And then when I find a packet of desiccant, I can put it in there. So here we go. We're just going to grab the last little bit. Do my little famous thing. This is almost 2 pounds of bacon, by the way. I bought a 2.2 kilogram pack, and some of it got used. Well, that didn't work well, did it? Anyway, some of it got used, and I cooked it all, because you may as well. At that point, once you've opened that package, cook it all. Whatever's left, you can put it in the fridge for a while, but I know I'm not going to use it all. So here we go. This will do for now. And there you've got some beautiful bacon bits that you can take with you. You've got some nice big pieces, little pieces. Do what you want with that. But at least now that is safe with me for several months to come, versus it sitting in the fridge and then eventually I have to throw it out. So that, yeah, any good sealing jar will work as long as it has that sealing ring on the inside. Very important. And again, put a thing of desiccant in there if you can. All right, I need to go and have some dinner, so some mushrooms are, yeah. Anyway, talk to you soon. Bye for now.